Moving swiftly along from all the idle rambling, we're back in this base, this map here. So a few things have changed since last time. On the weekend, I think it was, I just went through and tidied all this up, and so it's now all proper. How I am, it was sort of how I was. It's how I was sort of vaguely pointing with the stick as to what I intended, but I was too lazy to spend the precious stream time actually doing it because it's kind of precious stream time, and I don't want the building to drag on for 100 million episodes. And yeah, I rearranged these, so these are all in the proper place now. You'll also see there's some trains because I did want to test to make sure this stuff was actually working because I did see the circuits were a little wonky. Um, so these are doing yeah, all the primary inputs basically. So your iron, stone, copper, rare metals, all that junk, radium. I did discover, however, that there are a few missing paths. I added a few in here just to tease around with, but gonna come back to that and do it proper eventually. The other thing was I do indeed need to wire the signal. That was something I wasn't sure of. And I did fix the orientation of all these. Pretty much every one of these signals had some kind of issue with it. And I mean, this whole thing is probably going to get revisited at some point in the actual base. Actually, speaking of, when it comes to the actual base, I might need to. This thing's too small, basically. I'm going to need to expand it, or at least do something. Yeah, it's way too small. So I'm going to need to push the builds apart and maybe double the spacing between the two. We'll see how we go. We'll deal with that when we get there. It may even be pushing the builds further up now that I think about it. Casually, maybe get that up so it's level with like another 8 tracks or something that conjoins up here somewhere and just separate these two out. Instead of bringing them closer together, just separate them all. Something like that. But again, these are future me problems. Now me problems, however, is... What are now me? Powered? Just... Okay. Oh, no, you're not powered. Okay. That's just me getting distracted. Speaking of no... Oh, what? Oh, I see one. Oh, you're powering the electric trains. Very good. Thing... A little tighter. Thing that I need to do is that there. I also tidied up all of these things in the background as well. In between last time and now. So these are all... they're not actually on grid, but they're effectively on rail grid. They're on sort of a half rail grid. I suppose I could pull them down onto real rail grid. Now that Lucifer's here, I might have to. You'll probably make me. Also, hi. How you doing? What do you reckon? Make these... So these are in between grids, rail grids. They're sort of on their own. I mean, the spacing's correct, but they're not actually on rail grid. I should put them on rail grid, shouldn't I? I need to... Yeah, I thought so. Alright, let's get that done. Let's rip the band-aid now. I'm not entirely sure how I managed to not put it on grid. That's the trouble when with only half doing, like, you keep the existing stuff and so you end up only half doing it. Oh. That's so close to being on its own. Yep. Gotta be done. You gotta rely on those blueprints as the grid aligned blueprints as much as possible, otherwise it very quickly drifts out. Alright, let's get rid of those. That'd be Dino now? Yes, it is. Glad you could be here for us, Dino. Not late or anything. Like you're late. Fortunately, that doesn't actually reach. Within seconds of the bot going off. The almost graduated Kiwi arrives. Oh, I can't really. I don't think I can do that. It'd be nice to, but I don't think it's possible to. I sort of need. Oh, you have your graduation gear. I definitely couldn't be bothered with any of that crap. Yeah, because if I push this out any further, there's a good chance this won't connect to there. Even though, oh, I got like yeah, 4 tiles. Yeah, just it's not going to reach. All right. Yeah. So late in the piece, I kind of want to, but I really shouldn't. Make these all consistent. Probably going to regret this decision, but that's for future me problem. That's for future me, not now me. Now me is just all about making them, because I'm sick of making these left and right mashed pairs. Really annoying. So I'm just going to make them all the same now. So what's happening today? So I just did a bit of a review as to what I've been up to. So there's some trains as I was doing some testing, and I rearranged this in between last time and now. And now, I'm going to continue on to intermediates, so I can actually build this in the main base and get stuff going. So the first one that I want to look at is electronic circuits. Circuits. Remember. Well, I can easily look if I can see the recipe, but I can't see the recipe, so I can't thingy with this stuff. Was that all just primary ingredients? Yes, yes it was. So this is all just raw things being turned into not so raw things. So you're turning the various ores into enriched ores. Immersite one's probably going to turn into rare metals and or uranium into immersite moon dust. Yeah, and stone into sand as well. And then this has actually got some sand smelting for glass, then filtration for silicon, and also it's the bulk of it is actually lithium chloride and hydrogen and chlorine production. So yeah, that is these three here are effectively dealing with all of the raw materials, and then there's going to be another. This one here is oils. Probably going to make it all of chemistry as well, seeing as though I'm going to push oil into its own self-contained thing. That's labs, and so this one will be intermediates. May or may not be all of the intermediates. We'll see how we do. Something we get to. These are sort of independent of each other. It also begs the question whether or not I make copper wire. What does copper wire go into? Goes into that's right. Blank tech cards use copper wire, as well as red circuits, which was already on my mind. I just hadn't set it because I was like, okay, copper wire goes into that. I know it goes into red circuits. I was trying to think what else it goes into, and yeah, with blank tech cards. So those three things make all copper wire. So probably the first thing would be, or one of the first things would be turning the wire into stuff and junk. Yeah, wood for basic circuits in this. Kind of annoying, but it is what it is. As is tradition with all of these total conversion mods, they always give a use for wood. It's kind of a rite of passage. Or an expectation. Pretty much every mod does it. Every total conversion or whatever you. Before getting that carried away, How about I change these first? So you got lumber, iron, yeah, iron and wow. Next step. I'm actually going to do kajigga. Oh, jiggers like that. Find it. Then I'm going to slap down some of them. You are going to do lumber, iron, and you're going to do circuits copper. Ooh, a Michelle. Oh, do exclamation mark leaves, Michelle. Well, that was the first thing. Second thing is, how was the party? And do you have pictures of food? Oh, that's right. It's still 0. But in theory, it might actually be counting now. May have fixed it. So I'm keen to see. Yep, not enough wire. Then, let's paste that there. Aussie nuts and damsels. I hadn't actually seen them in damsels. So that's, what are you doing? 7k a minute. So that's 7 out of 103,000. Cool. Also eating 10k a minute. So that means 4 of these are going to eat 40k a minute. That's a lot of copper cable. A absolutely tremendous amount of copper cable. Is it all the same? Orientate. There's probably. Why not use rate calculator? See, I have done a bunch of in-game ones, but they all kind of suck. All kind of sucky. I also do have Factorio Lab open. It's 4 or 5. Ah, okay. It was just a lot. I'm not actually on Aussie Nuts now that you remind me. The Rayguard one. Ah, okay. I'll give another look. I think it was Hellmod was the one recommended to me, and it was just so complicated. What was it? It was Hellmod and Factory Planner. Both of them were just so complicated. Yeah, it really is. It is not good. Hellmod is awful, and then Factory Planner. It's just so like it's doing like sub factories and all this and all that. It's just like I just want a basic calculator. Is it not too hard? Similar story with Hellmod. The thing that I was looking at though is that there's 4 copper plate into 8 copper cable, so you've got the a doubling factor, which is the same as base game, which is 1 to 2. This just happens to be 4 to 8. More craft time for 4 times the craft time, so it's actually I think it. No, that is actually just the base recipe multiplied by 4. Yeah. Most of the time, I end up just feeling out how it goes. See how well it performs. I find that works out for me. So what does that make? 4, 8, 12. So that's 1 copper train every 3 minutes. That's probably as far as I want to push it. So, how about we ship it? Hopefully this can actually oh. 3 minutes thingy and thingy. I might not use this to do all of it. Can I see how many stacks are in there? 128. What is it? It's 4 16s. Yes. Well, actually, it's only 4 4s. So 160 stacks. 320 for 2, and then yeah, that's not enough space. How fast are these trains? Oh yeah, because this has got everything unlocked, they are fast. These things are as fast as they can be. Are you still going around? Oh no, there's just the ones where limits weren't set correctly. They're sort of stuck there. I think an unload for copper might be the way to go. Rate of the other one? 0.5 and... Oh, just 2.5, they were both the same. Conceivably, so I'm just digesting in my head, putting all 3 ingredients in the one. Oh yeah, can have access to it. Yes, I do. Add that app command. 302 in 75 seconds. Sounds about right. 75 seconds seems a little slow. Pretty sure they get there quicker than that. That's also possibly another... Oh, there we go. Oh, I see. I cut that. Oh, that's right. I didn't want them going out. I... Yeah, it's already at top speed. Oh, the 75 seconds looked a little odd. I was like, I don't think they were accelerating that slowly. What? Have I got something wrong in there? Or is it something... It could be something in the... Oh, Holic! Hello. How you doing? Welcome on in. What are you using for train fuel? It's electric trains. Welcome on in, everyone from Holic. How you doing? I was, think for a minute. Pi Light, that's the one you're working on. How's it going? Not completely suffering? Hey, Intertooth, how you doing? So hi, Glacier. Ryzen, how you doing? And Skelgard, hi. Welcome. How's the Mega K2 going? It's growing, it's growing. I've got the initial builds finalized, so I didn't actually do it on stream, but I got these finalized. I added some test trains as well, but they're not doing much at the minute. And now, as of today, we're oh yes, can't forget the Honk 4 greeting. I amalgamated the smeltering into one big mega smelter. And now we're working on intermediates today, so right now we're getting circuits up and running. Which would be good, because once I get the first layer of intermediates going, then I can start bringing it into the main save and actually start making use of it. Although, because of what I've been testing here, it does look like I'll need to tweak the spacer rails a little bit. Might have to redesign those. When I say might, I mean I will have to design those. Like it's a guarantee. Ooh, a tucker bear. Hello there, even. Some could say. Okay. These were the good ones. I got that Sands track. Yeah, they should be... Oh no. But I stopped using those. At some point, I was sure that I just switched over to using the same... Oh, that's... Oh, I see. Like, what is going on there? One of these somewhere, I did actually stop stuff. I don't know where. What I'm referring to, those who just came in, is I did a bit of a left and right arrangement originally, and I've come to not be a fan of it, shall we say. Uh, Sort of getting rid of it now. It's just a main reason being that it's just annoying to copy and paste all the time. So two. Interesting. Something else I noticed when I was playing around with these is yeah, I think it was on this one particularly. The outer two wagons unloaded considerably slower than the inner two wagons. The inner two wagons would be done, and then there's a good 5 seconds until the outer wagons are done. And I cannot, for the life of me, think of an explanation why that happens. Because there's no reason to. Unless there's some kind of hard limit pulling out of a train, pulling items out of a train, but it's symmetric across all 4 unloads, so I genuinely don't know. Maybe possibly two of these back to back doesn't actually run at 90 items a second, they actually run quicker. Loader to, that's the difference between, yeah, I had a feeling it was loader to loader thing where it's actually running faster than 90. You notice that? Yeah. Yeah, the only difference is it's longer belts, but it's every wagon should be 3 times 90. Do some tests. I can actually show it quite easily. Oh, I don't actually have a... I was like, oh, I have a thingy ready to go, but no, I don't. What's going back? Oh, yeah, they look like they're going backwards because they're just rolling so fast. Uh, Sure. Hang in there. Alright. It's not actually aligned to the train stop because there's no loco, but it just gives me a good line to work with. I just say wooden boxes like that. All those modded belts look like they're going backwards. It's away. If I plop that there, that's a 20. 75, 4, 3, 2, 1. See that? Considerably, not like, maybe I was exaggerating. When I say maybe, I mean I was exaggerating. Like, well, actually, it's a bad example because it's also these only stack in 50s. So why am I doing that? That's terrible. But yeah, you see what I mean. I should have actually used something that stacks in 200. But you see how it took a bit longer than the outer ones took longer than the inner ones. That again, it's taken much longer to load now. And 40 goes away, and pop. 36, 35, whereas this one's 30, 31, 30. As I say, the only thing I can think of is that these here are doing it. Yeah, all of them are connected. One unloaded to each wagon. 8, 7, 6, 5, and that one's only just hit 10. See that? It's interesting, isn't it? The scheme of things, it probably doesn't affect anything. Probably what I would do to compensate is maybe have like a warehouse there and a warehouse. That's problematic. There actually, and then just have. Actually, you could just have all of these. In fact, take it a step further. Just for lols. I think I've well and truly hammered the point home though. And as Lucifer says, it's probably related to I say probably it is loader to loader related. Captain belts were only just shy of completely full. That's what is it? Transport, not lines. Gaps. That's the one. Been a little while since I've used it. I mean, I could turn the UPS down, dial the UPS down. Yeah, it's loader related. So that one will finish first. That's at 10, 12, and that was 16, yeah. Yep, see, easily done. Still still going. Oh yeah, you are actually gaining again. Okay. So yeah, it is loader to loader related. How about that? It's loader to loader isn't actually 90. It's more than that. I suppose given enough motivation, I could figure out what it is. Given enough motivation. The trouble is, I don't really want to sit down and figure it out. Anyway. Down there, and that's our circuit build. It's all very much conventional setup. It's weird vanilla interaction. It would use normal loaders. It would do the same. Ah, okay. I suppose it's because I don't normally use loaders for most of my stuff, so I wouldn't see it. It's only now that it occurs to me that I should actually flip those to output, flip this to inputs, and add in there like that. Save me the headache of dealing with all that crap. They pull it even closer. Like that. Should I pull it closer? Probably not. Going to anyway. In fact, I'll split the difference and meet halfway. Well, my cousin has been roused from their sleep and continue to do the dishes. They could be ready this morning. Open. Aye, ready. Have a good one, Michelle. With a lurk. Gotta squeeze another tile out of it, and then good enough. Be serviceable. Okay. I'll make sure to check out the pictures. Have a quick look. I legitimately miss. Uh, how back is it? Being It's just that everyone's got zul as a suffix, so it's impossible to tell. Ah, there it is. That'll be it. Yep, there it is. I wasn't sure if you were one of the like Michelle's or something. Or one of the others. Yep, I see it now. I didn't go up far enough. Yeah, I'll check that out later. Yeah, that is a lot of pictures. Okay then. Oh, you've broken 1 million despite having your head drummed like a drum. Track lag. The track lag is getting real. Getting bad. Doesn't help that there are also a lot of no pathing trains as well. Yeah, like you there. It's Oh yeah, so that's one of the issues that needs to be fixed, is that if it's coming down the center, it actually basically has to do a lap of the base to find a hole. Like it doesn't really know how to find a hole. Or it's actually really difficult for a train to find a hole to park in. So many problems to deal with though. Time for naps. Quality nap time. Yeah, the no pathing considerably amplifies track lag. Should probably deal with it. Kinda wonky. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop them. Because they're trying to go to... actually, I can just delete the others. They're trying to go to, like, down here in the starter base. Bedtime? Alrighty. Good night, Mr. Graduated almost graduated Kiwi bird. Well, technically you have graduated. Whoa, does that? Almost graduated Kiwi bird. Technically has graduated, just got to go through the motions. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, this crap still exists. I mean, technically, in fact, there is a koala sleepy emote. There's snug, and then there's these sleeps. There. Electronic degree as well. Is it a double degree? No, still. I think yes. Yeah, just science. That's in a stupid spot. Playfield. Oh, it's in the tier 2. That's why. Um, because when I did them, there wasn't enough tier 1s. And I did used to rotate them, and then I got lazy. Where the hell is it? Analytics, settings, uh, channel, I think. Noises, AK90.
Mohod 5.
How you doing? I have a grad. Yeah, I have everything. um, I think that might be a tier 2 as well. Thank you very much for that. What is that? 17 months? Oh, anyway, moving swiftly along, because that definitely should be more. Thank you very much for that, Sam. How you doing, AK? Thank you very much for that. Apparently Rage is tier 3. Rage is tier 3, Derp is tier 3. Yeah, Grad is also tier 2. I can actually move um sleep down. Can't, it won't let me. Oh, you can have them in specific positions. Um Trouble is, there's not enough room to bring them all down. So the Golden Wave and the Golden Hype and the Derp are tier 3. I might move the Derp to tier 2. Derp and down to tier 2 with Thug Life. And then there's 4 open positions now. So in tier 1, so I can get Sleep, Grad, Blind and Rage all down into tier 1. Should actually move oh, it's already apparently I can have up to 150, but I think you got to cycle them in and out. Now I'm super distracted. There is also the bit ones. Oh, there is also Is the boomerang one? Oh yeah, it's in standard. I can move the boomerang one into tier 2 as well. And swap it out. I remember hearing about a few people who used to do rotate seasonal emotes, and I did think about doing it, but there has to be a certain payoff for it. Like, it's not something that really works in a vacuum, like for most channels. You need to be the kind of channel, essentially, you need to be the kind of channel that can drop like multiple hundred subs a day. They're all just a single, they are, all of these are literally just a single chain signal right there. I mean, it is all that's necessary. Pretty funny though. Okay, let's deal with the technical stuff. The technical issues. I'll move that up to there. Technically, also speaking of technical things, there should be a third stop. Duplicate. Uh, no good. That one's no good. That one's alright. And that one. That was the other thing I intended to do on the weekend, was look at the thingy mod. Yes, the thingy mod. All important thingy mod. Whose name shall come to me shortly, as soon as the brain starts ticking again. Because it has just temporarily shut down. Apologise for this inconvenience. I can hear it in my head. I'm trying to retrieve things from the head. Apologise for this temporary interruption into service. Service will continue shortly. Please hold the line. Circuit trains. Yeah, I meant to look at that on the weekend. Trouble is, for doing this stuff, I had actually already mapped out, in the loosest definition of the term, planning. Oh, you're too close. Yeah, I went to all that trouble of finding that. And I just gotta go hose it. Seems all kind of pointless, doesn't it? Pretty. Hey, Cloud, how you doing? It's safe to say that those don't reach. Yawning begins. I think I'll slap those there. Is interrupted? We're about to be interrupted again by an ad break in 40 seconds. For those who will be interrupted by an ad break in 40 seconds. Finish the view request. Ooh, nice. I at least did the introduction to it, and then much as far as I went with it. Not really had the motivation for that game anymore. Like the last, well, outside of touching it periodically throughout the year, just logging in for events. Not really done much. Trouble is the whole region is dead now. It's been dead since like 2020, 2019, 2020, I think. Just no one of like nearly every map is empty. Every node is empty. Uh, what do we do in circuits? Asia Pacific region. I think China gets its own region now too, which sort of doesn't help. China used to be, I'm pretty sure China used to be in Asia Pacific as well. I think there's an Indonesian specific one as, or similar area. Start modding again, but next week comes the new Final Fantasy 14 patch. I mean, very important update, isn't it? I also can't think of a really elegant way to put it, but uh, some of the countries within the region don't get along with other countries, and they tend to um, I'm trying to think of the word. Actively, I think is the best I can think of. Actively keep to themselves and keep their squads only contained within their specific country slash specific area of or geographic area of that region. Oh boy, that is the most diplomatic way of putting it. Um, that's red wire. Likewise, that's meant to be a green wire. That's why it's not working. Nothing to do with incompetent koala or anything. It's all just not plugging the right. It's all just the wires happen to be all wrong. Not encountered that. Are you on the same region, or are you US slash and or Europe? It's actually weird. I have been on the European region before, and that's like the only region where it gives you the message about taking breaks. You don't get that. Never used to get that on the Asia region. Region where you get chats. A region where there's more than 30 people online. There was I think I caught that a year ago. Admittedly, it was a quiet time. It was on like well, Sunday morning. Technically, shouldn't be a quiet time, but yeah, there was only I could actually count the number of people in the region when you looked at the player list. So why they don't just display the language instead of um I think it's a Unicode thing. It's the game just doesn't understand the chat box doesn't understand Unicode. Or they're using Unicode which doesn't um translate. Actually isn't uh I was going to say isn't I think I know which area you're referring to, and I'm pretty sure they are actually on their own custom client, like their own a a client the game releases specifically for them. Yeah, I don't remember who did that. In theory, oh, that's the thing though, is in theory the localization should be consistent across, like it should be the same physical build with the same um, Unicode rendering. But then again, Unicode rendering is, yes. Yes. That is hard. Yeah. Them being lazy. Very, very likely. Very, very likely. It is just them being lazy to do it, to implement it properly. Oh, the other thing I wanted to do. Computer is willing. It is. So I need. Holy crap, that's a lot. I need 15 builds, by the way. I need 15 of these. Oh dear. Similar problem in PoE. Path of Exile. I'm actually surprised that's a problem because, like, well, I suppose not having seen specifically with Path of Exile, but I have seen other games where renders whatever language correctly. Oh, you can actually read them. Fonts sometimes just don't support. Oh, it just physically does not have a character to represent the particular Unicode entry. Avigor? Type it, you got to do Notepad. Oh, okay, yeah. There's no direct way to type it in. So I do want this one again. Pop. So 8 of these, did I say? I've already forgotten. I'm just a little worried about the um, 15. Yes. So 16. So many. Ah, I remember. Um, oh, I can copy that. Will unload you. That will add in as well. Copper wire. I definitely haven't spent 40 minutes faffing about. Good. And done. I mean, it would also help if I did the same thing for sockets. That's before I get too distracted with the next project. Second. I mean, there's outputting kachigas. That seems good. Seems all good. 16. Would probably. What I'm thinking is 2 by 8. So have it symmetric going up. Probably for both circuit. That's a lot of circuits. That's a lot of circuits. Really is. And maybe have copper wire at the bottom. Speaking of copper wire, go. Oop. So as well as doing this on the weekend, another little side quest I've been on is finishing off the collections in Vampire Survivors. Finally up again. I still haven't bought the new DLC too. Get that. It is a good game. Probably overdue for playing another round of it. That's 16k. How much did I need total? 228,000. Yeah. Oh yeah, you just took. Tempting to make that its own thing. You meant the assemblers. So yeah, so 16 by 4 assemblers. Output still full. It's 22k, so I only need like what 10 now. Otherwise, I start pulling more. It's already down to 83 though. Yeah, that's the limit of yeah, or putting in, I mean. There we go. Now we're sucking it out. Actually manage. Yeah, it's actually managing. Don't need that. I got up to 27. Say it was 22. Probably like 9. And I am on it. It just rockets up. It's trying. Trying its best. But I'm not getting a thingy back. It's like there's no real reason to go around the side. That 27k. That is, yeah, 9. 8.1, so 9. 9.6k a minute, which is fairly slow. Something like that. Or Zoikets. Let's pluck that out of the way. Now, was thinking of doing, or in fact, change that plan, scratch that plan slightly. Want this one. Want. I mean, this one is a fast unloader, so I'll use it. I wasn't going to. I was like, maybe I can just make it more efficient. No, don't make it more efficient. Make it fast. Ain't nobody got time to wait for the unloader to unload. Day? enough. Let's make them all the same now. Inevitably find broken wires too along the way. Thank you, track lag. Doop-a-doo. Conceivably, since it's 2, go 1 there, 1 there, get rid of that one. Go there. Functional. Complain. Grab that. Track and hopefully, yep, excellent. I was going to say, hopefully it actually plugs in, and it does, conveniently. Just need those junctions. Right there. WTF making? A giant monstrosity, that's what we're working on right now. Giant monstrosity for base. So right now we're working on getting circuits going. Our lags are pretty annoying. Oh, they are phenomenally annoying. It's not bad considering they've barely even started and it's already laggy. I consider that to be a victory. Oh, they're actually slightly different spaced. Can probably force it to fit like so. Good enough. So yeah, the goal of this save is to make a Megabase that can run 5,400 science a minute initially. The eventual goal of going even higher as we go along. The theory is that I can copy and paste it to make it bigger in the future. Well, specifically, it's meant to be a giant bi-directional railway line that's kind of like a train version of a built main bus, and then you'd have all these builds that tap off that train main bus, and just get progressively more absurd as it goes along. Oh, that can't be good. One of the VODs just got flagged. What? Confused. It's interesting. Oh, that's an old one. Wow. That's a really old one. Odd purge. Yeah, the one. So the reason why I was confused is because I thought it was one that I just uploaded, but no, it was actually one is the 8K Megabase one, which is interesting because I don't have a. Well, it shouldn't have had thing in it. I actually have a special track to avoid that. But yeah, that one was years old. Uh, okay. M? It's a never-ending battle, it is. Tells ya. That's also partly why I don't take it too seriously, because I just can't be bothered dealing with it. You go there. And an iron plate unload. I don't know if there is yet. I suppose there sort of is down here. It's just that it doesn't have the train limit set properly, so I set that to iron plate. Done. So when that happens, it's actually interesting that it took several years for that to happen. What that means is that people are looking at the video because you know, the content system doesn't scan videos that aren't being watched or not being or below a certain threshold. So it means a not zero number of people, at least significantly more than zero people are watching that particular VOD. Bit limit done. You should be coils of wire. Of wire. Was the overall that were 9.3, so 27, which is 9.5, so just shy of 10. So one train every 3 minutes, and 27 is that's actually like a train a minute, or just over a train a minute. That's a little too quick. Generally aiming those that are not aware, if the train, the rate at which a train comes through is too frequent, the trains can't keep up with the production. And generally, I used to say about one train a minute was sort of the limit, but practically speaking, it's a bit like realistically, that's the wrong one. Like 2 minutes to 3 minutes is better, or more consistent, more reliable. I can allocate more trains to this and have them stack up here. Having said that, so it's not the end of the world. What did I say it was? It was 8. So what that means, being iron plate still needs a needs. Delete that. Yes, an air. Oh, it actually shouldn't do that because it depowers the combinator. Something I was thinking of doing was having a buffer gate, some kind of buffer for the out. Well, yeah, both wires are outputting, so it is entirely possible to buffer it out. Oh, and you're not linked there. Go. I could do more warehouses and get more trains to stack up. But these are, I'm sort of leaving these things for future me to tinker with, figure out. Hopefully, it won't be impossible to do. Like, it won't require, probably will require considerable rebuild, but hopefully it won't be too bad. Like, have 3 warehouses. Ah, back to work time fun. Right, so 5 of them. Probably do it. Oh, there you go. Not playing nice. Yeah, and then we'll do 5 on the other side. And then we'll do 8 of each green circuit. How tall can it be? So this somewhere over here. In fact, bring it up. Better yet, grab that one. Pop it there. So these get moved up to here. Much. Ooh. Crap in the way. I have no idea where that sits. Burp. Yeah, it's. There we go. Except for that, there's no good. That's why I did it. uh, burp. And bam. Oh, I still don't know. That sits. That should tell me though. If track lag will let me. I mean, keeping that hole there would help too. Okay, so you can't be there. Is the same spacing as this. Bam. Nearly there. It's a Veldak. Hello. Oh, that's completely wrong spot. There we go, that's better. Actually, now that Veldak's here, I have a inclination towards a workbench stream. Something I thought of doing a while ago and I never followed. To make that display thing I wanted to make ages ago. I say display thing. It's a little. The idea I had was a little 8-bit to hexadecimal display. So you have an 8-bit bus, and it converts it into a 0 to FF indication. I think that'd be an interesting little device to build. And for future projects, it would also be useful. Do a brush, just a very, very big brush. What do you reckon? We'll design a little circuit. Say little circuit. It is pretty modest. Yeah, does it do a circuit designing stream? Admittedly, if I was to go full confession koala bear, that sort of thing I tend to overthink and you get stuck in the analysis paralysis stage. But I think I have a strategy. I might write up a little like when I did the multimeter programming one, I had a mental checklist of what I wanted to go through. Admittedly, the part of the checklist that I didn't have on my mind was making sure the Python environment works. That was a separate issue. Make a little bit of a checklist and a fact sheet and just roll with it. So, eight circuit builds. That's almost an entire thingy right there. That's a lot. That's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. That is. Oh boy. Hey, T-Hacks, how you doing? That's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. Like, a lot more. Um, hmm. Yeah, Sleepy Koala be sleepy. Yeah, so this is the K2 Megabase, the legendary K2 Megabase we've been working on. Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, it could just cram all the circuits in there and hope for the best. But it's a big chain block. Oh, I'd have to make the chain block bigger. There is a few ways around it. Like I could have two sets of 4 tracks going up. Segment it out. Same thing coming back around. All gets very interesting. But yeah, this is going to be a big build. It's going to be run matter only. I'm actually trying to avoid doing as much matter conversion as possible. Because realistically, matter trivializes a good chunk of the end game. It's not to say that I'm not doing it. So, like the immersite, I'm turning into raw immersite into immersite powder. I'm probably going to need to turn uranium and rare metals into immersite powder as well. Because immersite on this map is really bad. But yeah, otherwise I'm trying to avoid, um, like turning raw iron or raw copper into plate by matter. So I'm trying to keep it more like vanilla. Having said that, reprocessing the products of like the ore enrichment, probably do. It's not great, but it's going the matter out is kind of like a hammer. It's going at it with a hammer. I think I did actually test. Some of them worked out all right. The uranium one was pretty. What was it? The uranium one was pretty. Turned out to be. Oh, it didn't actually. It's not in this save. Imagine the size of greenhouse build to run matter. Do you know, I've actually heard of people doing greenhouse only builds where everything is run. So you have the greenhouse producing wood, which is turned into matter, which then you turn into the iron, the copper, the rare metals, and so on. Which in its own right is actually, sounds like a fun challenge. Yeah, a wood powered base. Self-sufficient, doesn't need any. It's basically a self-sufficient base. Oh, you made yours greenhouse only. Ah, and water only. Technically, do I have to build here? I did actually build a greenhouse setup. Yeah, here it is. So you have one greenhouse. It turns the wood into matter, and then the matter into biomass, and the biomass into. Well, I suppose you do need to bring nitric acid in. That's the only concession to make. Hey, Baker. Yeah, and then that now puts the fertilizer for all the other greenhouses. It actually worked quite well. We ran out of coal early. That's not something you want. Yeah, I suppose the only thing there is you do need nitric acid. I don't think there's a way around that from memory. Donut. Literally nothing. Instead of run on wood power. But yeah, the overall goal of this save is 5,400 science a minute, which is the one pink belt, purple belt. And here I was thinking it was a modest goal. It's shaping up to be difficult. The bottom side is a duplicate of the top. So the entire 5,400 will be just on the top side. And then the idea is I can double it to 10,800 once I get the 5,400 going. Just mirror or flip or rotate 180. One or the other. And then crazy bidirectional stuff means. I mean, the greenhouse only build does sound like a good idea at this point. So stupid. Just thinking what to do with the circuits because that's well, that wire services everything. I could move the wire to another utility build, but I still need 16 of those. How many reds do I need? Just continue on. Let's see. Reds is much the same, only it needs electronic components like that. And as such, so copper wire, yes. And then that, and then that. I suppose there is a degree of autonomy from like this build would be like the oil where it has enough like because there's so much going on within the same build. Thank you, Sololf. I just need to finish this thought first. There's so much going on within the circuit build, so like the green circuits going into red circuits and the copper wires going into greens and reds. And then there's a bit of overlap with the blues, so I could self-contain the build to some extent. Thank you very much, Sololf. At 51 months. Goldak with the hypes and the loves and the snugs and the hello there's, Solar. That. I appreciate that. Months. So many years. So many months. So many days. No, you're saying sulfuric acid. What have I actually done that yet? I know I've had problems with keeping it up. But my solution, I think mine was to have a single one for these 416 trains. Ah, there it is there, yeah. There's the penultimate solution. Yeah, lots of pipes. Triplicate the pipes and then no more than 2 tiles between the pumps. And that seemed to help it along. It is also admittedly feeding 2 there and then 1 here. Admittedly, this one is also, was it 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of 2 because it's got a shimmy over. Which is actually really annoying because this one, it's the same deal. Yeah, that was my solution. Look, start it up again. Definitely underbuilt. Yeah. Thing with paralleling pipes, you wouldn't think like this is you wouldn't think it would work. Even just like a big blob like that, you wouldn't think it would work, but it works shockingly well. It works way more than it reasonably should. Wasn't that an Intertooth thing? What happened with Intertooth? I don't remember. I'm trying to remember. Because someone actually told him to do that, and he was like, nah, it won't work, and then it did work. Actually work. There was one of the other bases I did that to, and it just worked. And yeah, there's no reason for it to work as well as it does. Okay. Pipes work fine until they don't. Pretty much. Pretty much. Where'd the train go? Uh-oh. Did it run away? Um... oh, you're there. They had rotated those around. Now I does remember. Using it to empty. At some point I do need to finish the oil stuff too. It's just really don't want to. You know, that's why internet's not reliable. It runs on pipes. I mean, we could well actually use with the fact that it's in fact a series of tubes, series of modular tubes. Nitrogen's still going somewhere. Yeah, so this um, two pumps, one to each wagon into one of these. That works quite nicely. Very tidy. Done rocket fuel yet? It's going with oxygen. Yeah, I actually was going with oxygen light oil as well, but I haven't built it yet. I sat down and worked out the so it makes 16k a minute. This is eating a lot, a lot of water a minute. Actually, be able to see, yeah, you can see it ticking down. Yeah, it's struggling on that now, but this is getting as much as it can. Yeah, it's getting as much petroleum gas as it can. It's actually struggling on gas. Yeah, I actually went through all three recipes, and light oil is just so many fewer machines than any of the others. The others need, oh, what was it? One of them needed a lot more crushers for the chlorine. The ammonia one needed like 250 something air condensers for the nitrogen. Whereas light oil, it's just easy. Nothing. So yeah, that's how I did that. If you're able to capture that in like the 10 seconds that I had it shown up. So rocket fuel, if I was to maybe do a tangent over there. I mean, now's as good a time as any. I should actually lay another one of those down too, because I'm gonna need another one. Or did I do it down here already? No, that's all science. And I did do silos, yes. I didn't do the build for it. Yeah, I'll need an intermediate to do the rocket parts. And the high tech stuff. That'll probably be an entire build if I was to guess. So start with. It's kind of annoying too, the advanced chemical plants. The thing on the center there, so it means, and I suppose this one isn't so bad, but it means the way the pipes inlets and outlets are positioned. Um, I don't actually have a water loading setup at the minute. Um, this one, it's basically just spawning it in like that. Uh, Having said that though, the real one will probably be like offshore pumps, like so, into a tank, into the train, maybe both sides. And what I would do is put it in the middle of a lake. Even over here, I think there's a water loader here, but it's just spawning in at the minute. Yeah, as I say, if I was to do the real thing, here, let's go be over here. Uh, this is the creative save too. Um, Crap. That brush was huge. Well, I guess it's over here now. Say 16-ish. So what I would do is, or what I had in mind was something like there, and then a pump and a pump. And then in this case, it would be one pump in the middle there. Um, so one thingy is one tank and one set of pumps is covering both. If I can. Um, place the thingies to do the stuff. Like that. It would be like that. Needed. Yeah, that's the tiling point. So we'll do that down, and then I wouldn't have landfilled this much, so it's there. Offshore pumps. I click on it. I always think it's going into my hand, but it goes into the instead. I actually had some on me, and then something like that. Fortunately, these rafters. I don't think it ever occurred to me. Probably can't. Ah, craft speed still one. It can't be influenced. But yeah, that's probably what I'd be aiming for, and I'd even consider pull these together into pairs. And by that is that out to there. Slide this one equally over to there. Have another pair of pumps. Plug in like that. Potentially they can share inventories as well. Not really any reason for it. Ever. Yeah, that'll fill up trains in no time. And then just mirror the same thing on the other side. I'll probably fork that part. That would be so fast. Might take way too long. Need to water fill mod. Pipe throughput is whoops, just whack my thingy. Another column of pumps are left with underground pipes. Even yeah, there is a question as to whether or not the thingy is even necessary. The tank's even necessary because I suppose it will recover as the train's going through. But yeah, that'll pump it in no time. Now, that's gonna that. Oh. I do it every time. Fuel refinery. Time. Yeah, so that one. Is there really no better? Because the fuel refinery kind of sucks. This pump connection times the fluid. Yeah, it takes more time to connect and disconnect than it does to. Actually, disconnect technically is zero because as soon as it disconnects, the train starts pulling away while it's still animating. But yeah, it takes longer to animate than it does to connect. Having no advanced. Yeah. Oh my god. Tell me about it. No advanced electrolysis plant, no advanced filtration plant, and no advanced oil refinery just kills the dream. It really does. It's it's a thing though. Well, that'll do it. Suppose I lose those two. Actually, let's do that. Pop that over there. Do that. Pop that there. Let's see what the difference in craft speed is. So you are 11.55, you were 12.55. Okay, so oh wait, that's now 11.8 versus 11.5. I mean, it's still faster. It's still technically faster. Filtration plant and quartz. What do I do for that? Um, oh, that's a smelters. I need quartz. There it is. Apparently I only have one. So apparently, and I did calculate these out. So maybe only one was necessary. I only needed like 20k or something a minute. Only. I mean, it's still a stupid number, but but compared to some of the other numbers, what was it? Something was like 1.1 million. I think it was like 4 million oil. 1.3 million oil. 1.9 million petroleum gas. This is a minute too. This is 5.6 million water a minute. Like most of the numbers are in the millions, or most of the numbers are over at least 100,000. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So yeah, 11.8 is still technically faster. And most egregious of all is well, the biggest offender for me is the atmospheric condenser, wherever it is there. It is so slow. Like where is it? The 3.6 a minute is one. It's two fully beacon ones here. At least as fully beacons as they can be. Yeah, because I can't ram a beacon in there because of the way the outlet's arranged. And that's like 100,000 or something. Yeah, 91,000. So multiply that by 3.3, or divide 3.3 by 91,000. And that tells you 3.3, 91 on 3.3. And that tells you how much those stupid things are needed. And this is the best outcome too. It's still, as I say, it was like 250 machines if you do the other rocket fuel. Where is it there? Oh, iron as well, that's right. All three recipes have iron. Helps it play or something, I guess. I couldn't help it. Oh boy. 60 a minute. What do we need? 6,800 a minute. It's funny because I had to lean forward and squint at the screen because I was like 6,000. That sounds really low. Because it's not. It's because it's even lower than 20,000. Shockingly. 0.4 a minute. Oh, 3050. Okay. All right. What is our 1 minute time? 1 minute average. Is 57.58. 57.5, we'll say. Alright, so what are 4 of these worth? So my standard build has 4 machines in it. So this would effectively be 1 build, if all things were equal. It was 230. 8K. 230. Go to 8. And some of the builds do double up, the really slow ones, like the oil refineries. Yeah, the electrolyzers. I can go all the way to 16 because, yeah, as I say, electrolyzers. I didn't even bother with the intermediate beacons. This is just not worth the hassle. Actually, I think there was another reason I did that. I don't remember what it was now. I didn't. I think it was just width. In theory, max rate calculator, or not max rate calculator, what Lucifer said before. Could do it easily, but meh. 465. So, 7,460, 15 builds of that to get, oh, I did I do the right number? Oh, shy taskbar. Oh, not shy taskbar, this window key doesn't work. I think on this keyboard the window key actually is kind of wonky. No, it just doesn't. Oh, actually, I think there's a win lock button. So 6,800, so 7,000 on for 60? 15. Hello, railway track. Stocking. Oh, there we go. So it's doubled again, 800 something. It's like to see the 1 minute average to get the real. I mean, in theory, I could just double it to, what is it, 920. But it's sometimes what the game says, it's here 930. Maybe it is 920. Let's go for the 10 minute, but don't really want to. So that's down to 8 builds. But individually, each build is, I can actually pair them off too. Which would make it only 4 builds, as in have a top and a bottom half. The thing to watch is the fluid, so 34k, 30 whatever k. So what is that? 590. 3590? Jeez, I need to go to bed. 30, 60, 90. Hang on, no. So I was aiming for 128, but it's actually 400,000. So the uptime is pretty low. That's how I can get away with that 164k, because that's just over 1 every 2 minutes. So yeah, it's actually quite slow. Yeah, what I would do is have this, and if it will, I'll just rotate it. Yeah, and have a rotated part, points down as well. And that means I only need 4 of them. So it'll be like that and like that. The and just have a common load in the middle. Advantages, that should be 1.8k, something like that. 1.9k. Sit somewhere probably about there. Whatever that is. 0.8, 1.7. Yeah, that'd be what I'd do. That'll work. I don't remember on my head. You stack to. Shouldn't matter. So that is I nearly said 100 by 4 is 400, so it stacks to 400, but no, 400 is the vanilla because it's 10s. There's an extra 0, so it's 4,000 per wagon. That's actually fine. So it's filling half a wagon a minute. Divide that by 16, that's how fast it'll fill. It's still pretty slow. I could almost chain these together. That's really annoying. That is actually really annoying. Legitimately. Actually, no it isn't. So I have the unload, and then go down as well as from whatever unload system I have, go down as well as there, and then make these do a 180 U-turn. Oh, this is getting dumb. This is getting pretty stupid. Yeah, and then ends up back here. What did I say? That's 4. Now it's down to 2. Well, think about that one. I'm gonna think about that one. I don't know if that's gonna work. As far as that go, yeah, it's like 70k. So just under, so 1 every 4 minutes, 1 every 8 minutes. If I was to pair these off, an iron is, what's iron? Like nothing a minute? Yeah, nothing a minute. Okay, so yeah, that's what I would do with the fuel, the rocket fuel. Alright, moving swiftly back to what I was looking at before was this thing. In the remaining time that we have, I'll just delete that. And use infinity chests in its place. And I really want to know, I nearly did inserter parts. I hate the existence of inserter parts. Doesn't need the fourth. Can I speed it up? Probably is the answer. Let's go to the usual suspects. Raining. An extra beacon out of it. Works for me. So 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, almost on the dot. Yep, and it does. How many do I need? What's the damage? Only 45,000. Factorio Lab says 19.8, but its beaconage is inaccurate. What was it? It was 3.7. I'll round it up to 46. Oh. So 12, 13 builds. That's still a lot of builds. No, and it is also only a single. So that is actually 3.7 by 4. And then, completely neglected that. So 46 on 48. So 4 builds. That's actually not terrible. Is that 5, 10, 15, 20 as well? So the uptime isn't horrendous. That's actually not too bad. They'll leave a note for me. For the future, because it's nearly ending time. It's a 4 total. Fine products are resent line, extra buffer, train. So I rounded up to 4 on the assumption that some's going to get siphoned off for other purposes, for non-Megabase purposes. Oh, as far as byproducts go, in theory, it is accounting for the one of them generates extra. One of the processes generates extra chlorine. I forget which one. And it is actually it is. Oh yeah, that's right. And it is being added to the back to the process. Stone. My plan for that. It's actually changed a few times. But I was planning on pulling iron ore back out of it. I think it was. No, stone back. Yeah, it's. I really do need it. Yeah, I get the iron ore out of it. I was going to bring it all to one place, turn it into matter, and then turn it back into possibly emersite or uranium or something like that. Or possibly, alternatively, just going back to iron, because iron's pretty high demand. Well, it's actually not a high demand item in this mod. Copper is the high demand product. But yeah, use matter to turn it back into something else, like, say, emersite. Or just feed it to crushers, that works too. Even though I said I'm not going to, I'm sort of avoiding the whole matter process. There are some conveniences to it. Like, oh, I forgot what it is now. So, uranium ore to dull rocks is a really good process. And I think, emersite dust, moon dust was another good one. Yeah, those need better stabilizers, which really decreases its effectiveness. Yeah, any of the advanced products. It was. That one was good. Oh dear. I think it was Immersite. Was the other one. There was like two or three that I remember. Potentially mineral water as well, because I don't think you use much mineral water. I do check. You don't use much, only 186,000 a minute. Limited use for 235, especially in non-byte build. You can't even convert. Yeah. What am I doing with it? I'm technically using it to power. So this is an earlier version of the save, but power the so I have a matter power plant set up, and the power plant is being powered by nuclear reactors. So that's where I'm using the 235 from, and then the excess 235 is being sent into artillery shells. So yeah, no biters. It's all that stuff's pointless. But yeah, it's doing it via matter and then Dvorak's enrichment. Actually, there's another thing too. Is the enrichment makes it really just brain dead. This thing, it's guaranteed one extra. Minus, well, factoring in productivity, it's 1.4. I suppose 1.2. Sorry. But yeah. So the whole matter generation is being powered by nuclear, and then the matter plants themselves just fed matter. Yeah, it's pretty straight. It's not as complicated as it sounds. When I originally thought of it. Yeah, I could see doing the traditional process being a pain if you didn't have a way to get rid of the 235. Get rid of it. That's how to make bombs. I think it's time to end. But that's for another day. So, continue on. We'll get the... So the one thing that's missing is the electronic components and the processing unit. So we need to get those going next in this build. And we'll roll from there. And that'll be on Thursday. Today being Tuesday specifically. So we shall continue on then.